difficulties. Let's put on some Chuck Mangione because it feels so good.
Well, listen, I have generally a policy about starting on time, but we can start whenever you want.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm happy to start. Okay. Well, Chuck, you're going to have to stuff it. And then people can come in as they get here. So let's talk. I'm excited about this talk. We're talking about how to acquire more customers, increase guest frequency, and beat third-party delivery apps at their own game. And this talk is delivered by the man, the expert, Rev Ciancio, who is also the co-founder of Handcrafted Burgers and Brew. And I'm sorry, what was the second one? You are the CEO of.
I'm the head of revenue marketing services for Branded Ventures. We're a hospitality tech and investment firm.
Thank you so much. And we're going to be sending out all the links to Rev's stuff, including his really brilliant podcast. I mean, I don't mean to sound so surprised about your podcast, but it is really brilliant, the kind of access that you get from the people that are operating at a very high level, especially in the multi-unit chains that everybody's heard of. So thanks so much for donating your time here, Rev. We are so excited to have you here, and take it away.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Jason. And thank you for everybody that's joining us live and anybody that's going to catch the recording later. Super excited. We always start with a spin. There's your spin. All right. You ready?
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention that if you haven't already set up your account at who'smyrep.net, it's a great way to find your supplier reps. And if you have any questions, comments, ideas, thoughts, just go ahead and throw them in the chat, or you can actually raise your hand and ask directly. So thank you so much, Rev. Take it away.
God bless. All right, here we go. In 3, 2. Oop, what just happened there? Only presenters can. All right, never mind. Here we go. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation, How to Acquire More Customers, Increase Guest Frequency, and Beat the Third-Party Delivery Apps at Their Own Game. We're going to be on here, let's say 40, 45 minutes, and before the presentation ends, I promise that you will discover how to quickly create a perfect marketing machine that will have you rolling in new guests and get your current guests to happily spend more. I'm assuming that sounds good to everybody. That I'm a restaurant owner, that sounds good to me. All right, let's start with a few truths. Let's make an agreement on a couple of things. Restaurant marketing is hard. And when I say restaurant, I'm also considering bars and coffee shops and bakeries, but we'll just call it restaurant marketing. And here's the thing. You're probably not a marketer. You're probably an operator, okay? And there is no manual for this. Nobody's written a book on how to do it. And you should be expected to know how to do it. And even if there was a book, this stuff changes on a daily basis. So there's no reason for you to think you should know how to do it, okay? I'm here to tell you, though, that you can do this, okay? If you ever really thought that marketing is hard, because it is, and it takes a lot of time, but it'll be a waste of money, then I'm here to put those fears to rest, because you just need the right person to show you how to do it. That's me. Okay. You can do it. You just need to be shown how to do it. There's other things that you do you didn't know how to do and you learned, and we're going to learn you today. Okay. I also want to say that that's enough. Okay. You've probably gotten millions of phone calls from marketing and advertising companies promising like that magic wand or that magic button that's going to bring you all kinds of new guests, and all you need. Look, I'm in my second go round of owning a bar or restaurant. We get these phone calls every day. Somebody's got something. Oh, all you need to do is spend money on this, and boom, guests everywhere, blah, blah, blah. That's just not how it works, guys. Okay, there is no magic wand. But I'm here to tell you that if that's all you do, it won't work, okay? Because those people, they have sales quotas, and they're very aggressive about selling, right? They're just there to get you to spend money, okay? I want to confirm something to you, okay? Marketing is indeed hard, okay? It is not easy. It can be expensive, and it can take a whole lot of time. Lots of people fail at it, okay? I have failed at it. That's how I got good at it, was failing lots of times, okay? Anybody ever try one of those magic wands? You ever take the phone call from, let's say, Yelp? And I love Yelp, but you ever take that phone call from them or Groupon and you try it out? Did it work? Okay, probably didn't. Maybe it did for a little bit. Maybe it did something, but didn't really fix the long-term problem. Maybe it was a short-term problem. Guys, there's no magic button for marketing. It does not exist, okay? It is all about lots of little incremental moves that build over time. There is no magic button. Okay, if you think there's a magic button, you're on the wrong webinar, unless you want to spend 40 minutes being convinced of there's no magic button, okay? Listen, I know that you guys have a dream to run an amazing bar or restaurant where everybody loves the food, everybody raves about the experience, you're making lots of money. Okay, I know that that's your dream. That's my dream. Like I said, I own a restaurant in Bryant Park. I used to own a bar in the East Village. That's how I know Jason. I'm here to help you, okay? I'm here to make sure that you have a constant flow of new and repeat guests. Does new and repeat guests sound good to you? Sounds good to me. Okay. Goal for the presentation is to help two types of people. Number one, if you are a restaurant operator who's a take charge kind of person and runs or at least oversees your marketing, this is for you. Okay. Likewise, if you do marketing for a restaurant or you hire somebody to do the marketing for you, this is for you as well. Okay. You're either going to get the instructions you need on how to do this or be able to show somebody else how to do it for you. Does that sound good? That sounds good to me. All right. Now, like I said, our big goal here is to show you how to quickly create a perfect marketing machine that will have you rolling in new guests and get your current guests to spend more. Does that sound good? We call this acquisition and retention, but it's really about new guests who spend more all the time. Okay. Said another way, you guys are going to discover what to stop doing and what to start doing instead. Does that sound good? Some people don't like being told what to stop, being told to stop what to doing, but sometimes you got to be told. I like being told, hey, don't do that. It doesn't work. Do this thing instead. Jason's
raising my hand. Thank you.
Well, good. There's lots of notes here today. You can do what my buddy Wes says that he calls these writer downers. You can also just screenshot. I don't know if Jason's going to make this recording later or soon, but whatever. Here we go. Okay. I do want to encourage you to stay to the end. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, there's going to be lots of great content you're going to learn here today, so I want you to make sure you get all the good content. I will be doing a Q&A at the end, and I will be excited to answer every single question that I possibly can. So if you have questions, we'll answer those at the end. And lastly, if you can't already read the screen, if you stay to the end, I do have a special gift that I put together just for you guys. So it will definitely help you in your business. You'll appreciate that. Okay, hi. If you don't know me, my name is Rev Ciancio. Some people know me as a restaurant owner and a hospitality marketing influencer. I am co-owner in New York City-based burger joint called Handcraft Burgers and Brew in Bryant Park. I used to own a bar in the East Village. I also run a couple of Instagram accounts with more than 650,000 followers total. I've legit worked with hundreds of restaurants to help them raise awareness, acquire, and retain customers through digital marketing, social media, and the use of incredible software. That's my screen name. If you want to follow me, I'm at Rev Ciancio, and I do happen to love French fries, even though those are burgers and chicken sandwiches in the photo. Guys, it wasn't always this way, and Jason will remember this. In 2010, me and some buddies opened a really cool bourbon, beer, and rock bar in New York City. We had a menu of really cool burgers. I've been in your shoes. I'm in your shoes again. That was a ton of fun. And you guys know this stuff is a ton of work. I'm also a lot heavier in that photo, but we won't get into that today. We owned that bar for 6 years. People loved it. You see, we were really great at marketing. We knew how to attract, we knew how to acquire, and we knew how to retain our guests, right? We got tons of press. We got tons of 5-star reviews. And for a while, we were kind of the darlings of the beer and bourbon scene for like a long time. People loved us. We on the outside, we looked well.
Still a favorite.
Huh?
I miss that place.
Me too, buddy. It was a good time. Thank you. Unfortunately, we had a bad partnership, and two of our partners basically threw money out of the window without telling us until they were actually $200,000 in the hole. And at that point, right, there's not much you can do. In fact, as I put this together presentation originally, like 6 years after that bar is long gone, we still owe money from the loss. Right. And each month I'm reminded of how bad things went when I got to write like my $300 check that like knocks a little bit off the debt. Right. I could actually pay off all the money right now, but I choose to only pay it in increments because it's like my little tiny way of getting back. But anyway, it sucked. It ended poorly. Right. Now, I realized along that process something really, really important. Okay. Other restaurant and bar owners asked me all the time, they still do, how'd you get so many reviews? How'd you get so many followers on Facebook? Or even like, can you help me grow that wild fan base like you guys had at Idle Hands? Right. I learned something here when we owned this bar is I learned that I had really valuable skills that a lot of people needed help with. Okay. And it was at that point, right, around 2015, 2016, I dedicated my career to helping restaurant operators to become rock star restaurateurs by mastering their marketing so they literally never have to worry about revenue again. Like I said, since then, I've worked with many, many tech companies and restaurants and to literally just help them grow with marketing. So these are not just logos I splashed up here. I've worked with all these companies, still work with a number. You might even recognize some of these ones. So all right. In fact, I got so good at marketing with restaurants, including blogging and social media, that I ended up like on all these crazy different TV shows as like an expert and a marketer and whatever it was. But I've also done tons of interviews on like Fox News, Fox 5, New York, one, Fios 1, ABC 7, whatever. They wanted to ask my opinion, both as a food critic and a hospitality market. I got called by Ad Age last week. That was crazy about the Mr. Beast burger opening. So I was pretty excited about that. Bring that forward to 2021, 2022, where me and a couple of friends who, these guys own a successful gastropub. They asked me if I was interested in co-founding a quick service burger restaurant called Handcraft Burgers and Brew. And we opened November of last year, so it hasn't even been a year yet. And I'm just going to take a moment to humble brag. Is that all right? Jason, is it all right if I humble brag for a moment? I assume everybody's cool with that.
100%. Absolutely.
All right. For a business that has only been open for less than a year, we have a 4.9 average rating on Google. Actually, it dropped to 4.8 this weekend. We had a couple of jerkos walk in there.
A little bit of scumbagging happening, huh?
It does. It happens. I mean, 4.9 is ridiculously high, but we have a 4.5 average rating on Yelp. We have 3,500 email subscribers. We have 500 people who have opted into our SMS alerts. We have more than 4,000 followers on Instagram. Okay. But the stat that I'm most proud of today is that I can tell you that 12% of the guests who came in to dine with us in July were repeat guests. Okay. And I can tell you that 18.5% of the revenue that we drove in August came from retention action, from metrics of driving our guests back in. And I know this because not only do we have a system set up to track it, but we actively check it and we actively manage it. Okay. I literally looked this morning. 18, that's basically 1 out of 5 people that dined with us in August had been with us before. Okay. I don't know if you guys know the metrics of that of your business, but I do. And I love it. And I watch it all the time. And you can see that from July I was at 12. Now we're up to 18. So that's great. And August, difficult month in New York City, by the way, if you didn't know. All right. Anyway, I share this with you so that you can see everything that we're about to talk about. I do. I practice what I preach, and you will be able to do it too. There's no hocus pocus here. I'm literally going to show you how to do it. Okay. So let's talk about the restaurant business and where we came from. Okay. Everything was about the transaction. Okay. Getting the customer in the door and getting the sale. Everything happened on premise. Okay. Hence the rise of the point of sale system. We needed a way to capture the payment. So that's why all restaurants have POS, which is funny though, because our bar did not. We did everything on cash and with a swipe system. Okay.
I remember. Yeah. It was old school.
We did credit cards. We had the cash register. Boy, were we stupid. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The problem with that system is that now that we live in a digitally connected world, right? We have so many other touch points with our guests. Okay. There are so many ways that a guest can connect with us. They can message us and interact with our brand, even without us knowing. Right, the customer journey, it now starts and ends online. Okay, walk through this with me real quick. Okay, somebody could find out about your brand from like a Facebook ad or from Jason going to a place and saying, "Hey, this place is awesome," and all of a sudden people know about this new restaurant. What's the next thing they do? They go to Google and they look at their ratings, reviews, and see what their hours are. What's on the menu. From there, they might go look at the photos. They might pop over to Yelp and look at your ratings and reviews. And then they want to take a look and see what else is on your menu. You're like, yeah, that cocktail looked great, but do they have appetizers? Are they doing dinner? Maybe people aren't drinking. Maybe they want mocktails. I don't know. That's not me, but some people do. But they look at your menu. Now what do? Now they go to your website because they want to learn more. Maybe they need to get a reservation. So they're using Open Table or Resi or 7 Rooms. They make a reservation. Then what happens? I'm going to tell my wife where we're going, so I got to share with her the link. Or maybe I'm hitting Jason. I'm like, dude, I'm taking you out to this steakhouse. I'm going to share that link. Okay. And then because I know I'm going to have a couple of drinks or a glass of wine or two, I'm going to take an Uber, right? And I need directions or I need Lyft. And those databases need to know information about your brand. Otherwise, how are they going to get the guests there? All right. I'm in the car. I'm on the way to your bar or restaurant. And what do? I pop open Instagram because I want to look at what does the food and drinks look like. I want to know what the real experience is. Okay. Now I get there and you're probably showing me a QR code or you're even taking my order online. Okay. You still don't even have my credit card and I'm bad at math, but that looks like 12 or 13 digital interactions I've had with your brand. And I've not even sipped a drink. I've not even taken a bite of food. And you can control each one of those moments, right? Then you're going to take my card or Apple Pay, or I'm going to pay online, right? Then you're going to ask me how it was, hopefully digitally. And then you're going to ask me for a review, right? Well, guys, what if during like my discovery phase, I get the incorrect hours? What if I can't figure out how to make that reservation? I can't find your menu to see what's on it. Maybe your social media hasn't been updated in like a month, or your photos are just crappy. They're unappetizing, right? What if you never ask me for feedback? Okay. Do you think the next time I'm looking for a place to eat or drink, I'm going to choose your place again? Right? Do you think other customers who've never dined with you or choose your restaurant over one that doesn't look like this? Okay, guys, you cannot ignore parts of the journey. To manage all of these touch points, not only do we have to know they exist, but we also need the tools and the technology that helps us to align to our customer's journey. Jason, that makes sense?
Sorry, I had New York traffic behind me. Yes, 100%.
Everybody was like all feeling the flow, and then I was like, well, what if I take all this away? Now your guest is screwed. Guys, when it comes to digital restaurant marketing, I said I was going to make it easy, okay? Specifically around new guest acquisition, there are really only a few major channels that work, which means you can focus your effort. So let's walk through these real quick so you know where to find new guests. These are in no order other than the order that I thought of them. Number one is third-party delivery services. Without a doubt, there are people that will find your restaurant and bar on DoorDash or Uber Eats or Grubhub or whatever they use. That is absolutely a channel for acquisition. It's not a great one, but it's an acquisition channel. How about local search? What do people do when they need to find a new place to eat or drink? Hot wings near me, craft cocktails in X neighborhood, whatever. Local search. I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that 2 out of every 3 guests that we get at my burger shop come from local search, meaning people who are literally saying burger near me. Okay. What's another one? Word of mouth. This is probably the first thing you thought of. Word of mouth is still a thing. However, we have the ability to actually make it happen, right? But word of mouth, getting your guests talking about you, getting other people talking about their experience, for sure is an acquisition channel. It's a difficult one to use, but it's one. Okay. Social media ads. If you're placing ads on Facebook and Instagram, people are there all day seeing pictures of other people's lunch. It is not an interruption to also send them a picture of a pizza or a cocktail, right? We're used to seeing food and drink on social media. And last is other paid media. What do I mean by other paid media? Google search, Yelp. There's other places where you can buy attention. Guys, I told you I was going to make this easy. These are the 5 main digital acquisition channels that work for every bar, coffee shop, bakery, restaurant. Third-party delivery services, local search, word of mouth, social media ads, and other paid media ad, which means if you want to focus on new guests, this is where you spend most of your time. Now, you could go get a PR agency and hope to get in the New York Times or whatever your local equivalent is, but that's way harder to control, way more expensive. Now, let's talk about retention channels. Guest acquisition is hard and it's expensive, which means we got to get everybody coming back for a second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th visit because it's way cheaper to get somebody to come back to acquire them. And we want to build lifetime value. Okay. Now, there's only a few proven channels here. Again, we get to focus our efforts. So again, no order than what I thought of them. Number one, email. Email is a great channel for retention. Like I said, I know we drove 18.5% repeat visits at my place in August. It was from email. It was 100% from email. 1 out of 5 purchases happened because I email my guests. Okay. Number 2, SMS. This is probably not a shock to you. You text your guests, they'll place an order. Pretty simple, right? Guest feedback. Guest feedback is an incredible way to increase retention, right? Get somebody to care about you and say something about you. It's word of mouth. Other people see those reviews. And if I talk about how much I like a business, I'm probably going to become a stronger guest, right? Social media. Duh, you knew this was coming. People don't follow you on Instagram unless they've already eaten there, which means by posting to Instagram, it's a retention tactic. You're trying to get awareness and stay top of mind. And last one is loyalty. This one's a little bit more complicated, but loyalty works. Okay. What is the one common thread between email, SMS, feedback, social media, and loyalty? I'm not going to give you the opportunity to answer, but I'll tell you what it is. These all require us communicating with our guests. Okay. Which means that there's nothing more important than getting their contact info. If you don't have me in your database to email me or text me, you can't get in touch with me. You can only hope that I see your social media. All right. Jason, you ever heard of the Taco Bell theory of marketing?
No, I haven't.
Good. Most people give that as the answer because I made it up. All right. But I'm going to explain what it is. Okay. So why does Taco Bell take out an ad on the Super Bowl, post to social media, send postcards to your house, and buy billboards, right? And update social media? Why do they do all of these things? Okay. Because they know they have to get their message in front of you at least 7 times to get you to get a chalupa. okay? And they want you to remember that you love chalupas. But if all they did was email you, that would be about as easy to knock off your shoulder as a mosquito in the summer, okay? You're just being annoying. But if you feel surrounded by chalupas, if every time you are in or out of your house, you see an ad for a chalupa, you're like, yo, man, I need a chalupa, okay? And so you want to be like Taco Bell. You want to drive 7 impressions in as many channels as you possibly can. Surround people with your food, your drink, your offer, your good time, your experiences, okay? Let me tell you what this can look like, guys. This is one of the clients I work with, okay? This is when we're getting super high level into stuff, and I'm getting real tactical, and we're doing all the stuff we're talking about here. We lean super heavy into email with this brand, right? And specifically on email automations. I know Jason's into automations. I love automations. Set it and forget it. Let it work, okay? But look what it can generate, okay? $37,000 in revenue from an automated welcome email flow, which means we spent the time to write a couple of emails and to put them in the MailChimp and to turn them on. That part was hard. That part took some time. But when it was done, we didn't have to do anything but look at the numbers and optimize it. And you can see 19% of guests who received the emails returned to dine again in the first 60 days. 1 out of 5 people that got these emails came back within 2 months. And we didn't have
absolute insanity.
We didn't have to do anything. We created a one-time email that just triggered in the background, okay? If you want to increase your guest frequency, okay, create a welcome flow. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit more. And I use Bicky to do that, but we don't have to get into that right now. Okay, guys ready? You guys ready? You want to get in the nuts and bolts of this? I've sort of done a lot of setting up. Okay, here's how the rest of this presentation is going to work. I want you to have a plan for successful marketing. So I'm going to show you what to stop doing. Okay. And if you want that perfect money making machine, I'm also going to show you what to start doing. Okay. Keep in mind what you're about to discover is exactly what I do for my own restaurant and what all of my clients are doing. Okay. I work with brands that have 40, 50 locations. I have brands that have single locations. This is what everybody is doing. These are the proven models. You ready for proven models? Yes, Rev. Let's go. Okay. Brands often think that posting to organic social content to organic social media, meaning your Facebook and Instagram, is a great way to attract new customers. Okay, and the truth is that most people do not follow a restaurant on social media unless they have already had a brand experience or plan to in the near future. Jason highly endorsed something. I'm going to follow it, but I'm planning to go. Okay, so who are these people that are following your accounts? These are your guests, okay? And likely your content doesn't give them instructions on what to do next when they see it, okay? The wrong way, okay? Nobody has to put their hand up and admit if they're doing it, but I'm guessing it's all you. I've done this too. The wrong way is posting pictures of food or drink with some witty or creative text that also does not give them instructions on what you would like them to do. I see this all the time. Regular fruity margs. Okay, great. So you probably got some interaction, and I guess that's good for getting more people to see. But what did you want me to do? Did you want me to make a reservation? Did you want me to come in? Did you want me to share with a friend? What did you want me to do? Okay, tell your guests what to do. Here's the right way, guys. Give clear calls to action on what your customers should do, like place an order, join your loyalty program, download your app, whatever it is, okay? And you can go look at Handcraft Burgers and Brews social media, and if you see a post that doesn't have a call to action in it, you call me out. You can call me out publicly. And if there's a reason, I'll tell you why. But I guarantee 99.9% of the time, I'm telling my guests what to do. Humans are stupid, myself included. We need to be told what you want, okay? Now, here's a pro tip. Make sure that the visual content, right, holds their hand in showing them what to do. Okay, I call that the handheld close. I'm going to walk you through a couple examples. Like just saying, or at the link in the bio is pretty good, but you guys want to see boss level here? Here's boss level, okay? If you're asking them to download your app, create a carousel post or a video that shows them step by step how to download it and get started, okay? It's called the handheld close. And Shake Shack is actually really good at this. Whenever they launch a new initiative that requires you to do more than like place a link in the bio, they will actually tell you exactly what to do and show you images and give you videos of how to do it. So if you're starting a loyalty program or you're selling tickets to something that's a little bit different than what you normally do, show us what to expect. Do the handheld close. Okay. Use calls to action. This is great. This is my partner's bar, Croton, New York City, Croton Reservoir Tavern, New York City. We are steps away from Bryant Park, have a vast outdoor studio. Stop by to catch up today. Happy hours 3 to 7 weekdays. And there's the address. This is great. How much effort did this take? The answer is none. You can start adding calls to action to your social media today, and it will get incrementally more of your guests to take action. Okay. Number one of that money-making machine is add calls to action to your social media. Tell your guests what to do next. Guys, ready for the next one? Okay. The number one way to drive retention, okay, that is making recurring visits happen. You probably know what I'm going to say here. I've definitely already alluded to it, is to market to your guests, okay? Now, there are a number of ways to market to your guests, and one of the best ones is email. Okay, you can wait for them to drive by your store or walk by if you're in New York City to be reminded of how much they love the food, or you could put a message right where their eyeballs are every single day, their inbox. Okay. Now, thank you, Jason, for plugging the podcast. But if you never listen to my podcast and you're only going to check out one episode, go find the episode with Julie Wade from Taziki's Mediterranean Cafe. Okay. Julie is amazing. They have 50 some locations and she's one of the best marketers I've ever met. One of the joys of my podcast is I get to ask questions that help me. And so I asked Julie, how do you affect retention? I asked her a bunch of things, but I said, Julie, what is the number one way you get your guests to come back? Without hesitation, without having to think, without having to take a breath, she said email. That was it. She was like, email. You got to be emailing your guests. And if you want to hear what she does in her playbooks, go check out the podcast. But when somebody like Julie tells me that email is the number one thing, I don't have to ask any more questions other than how do I do it? Okay. It says to me, email's the thing. Okay. Now, the wrong way is spray and pray emails sent to everyone in your database, regardless of their preferences or where they are in their journey. Okay. I'm going to give you a very simple example. And again, I'm guilty of this. Okay. But sending an email about veggie burgers to somebody who has literally never ordered veggie burgers, that's a real easy way to say, wouldn't it be better for you to, if you guys know me, I run a Instagram account called Steak Club 7. That's the number 7. It is clear I'm a carnivore, right? I don't necessarily need to be marketed about, veggie burgers and gluten-free and plant-based. But if you're going to release like a 48 ounce, dry aged He-Man steak, you better make sure I get that immediately. Okay. There's a very simple example. There's way more complicated examples, but I like to use the simple example so it's explainable. So what is the right way? What is the right way? Is to segment your guest data. Send emails to key segments that personalize the messaging to their preferences and their current relationship to your business. Okay, I'm going to give you a very simple example. Handcraft Burgers and Brew is doing a pop-up right now in Greeley Square. It's part of Urban Space's Broadway Bites. Okay, every single person that comes and orders from our pop-up gets a little bag stuffer that says, hey, give us your feedback, right? Let us know how we did. If we collect their emails, 3 days later, I send them an email that says, hey, we hope you enjoyed it. Come by and see us at the store. It's totally awesome. Here's a code for free orders of fries that's good for the next 10 days. That's segmented marketing. I know about a specific behavior that a particular group of my guests took, and I have the ability to market them in a way that works for where they are in their customer journey. Does that make sense? Okay. Personalize. You can also look at your data. We did this today. Actually, this is a good one, Jason. You'll like this. We're trying to figure out what's the best day of the week to email our guests. Now, we look at a lot of signals, but one of the things I care about is email is what? It's a retention tactic. So I went to my database and I said, okay, show me by day of the week which day I'm most likely to get a guest who's a repeat guest, meaning not a first guest, not an order volume by day, but I want to see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're not open on Sundays. Which day do I get the most amount of guests who have seen me before? Okay, it's Wednesdays. It was Tuesdays and Thursdays over the summer. It switched. It's Wednesdays. So what do I do with that data? Well, if I'm only going to send out email once a week, guess what day I'm going to send it on? The day I'm most likely to get repeat customers. Make sense? All right, moving on.
100%.
Now, what I would do here, I said I would tell you which tools will help you with this. Okay, use software like Bikky. It's Bikky to quickly analyze and segment your guest data. Send emails to key segments that personalize the messaging to their preferences and their current relationship to your business. But look, you don't need Bicky. There's other tools. If you have Pop Menu does some of this, right? Incentivio, there's a number of products, but like look at your guests by segment and activity and market them based on what they've done. Okay, I'm going to give you one more example. Okay, guests who have had their first transaction enter a welcome email flow. We talked about this. Okay. That puts emails about your brand, your food, your values, etc., right into their inbox several times in the first 30 days of them being a customer. Now, I have a client doing this. You can see the screenshot. And we typically see 1 out of 5 guests return the first 60 days because they're getting these emails that tell them how awesome it is to go eat at this restaurant. Okay. Now, you guys ever heard of Gregory? I think we all know Gregory here. I mean, most of us probably do. Okay. This is what Gregory has to say about Bicky and about a welcome email flow and a retention flow. He made more money in 60 days than he did in 5.5 years prior of not doing what I just said. Okay. That's a pretty heavy endorsement for Bicky. All right. Number 1, you're going to make calls to action in your social media. Everybody's going to start doing that today. Number 2, you're going to personalize your communication based on guest data and segmentation. And I gave you some pretty complicated ones in there, and I gave you some really easy ones too. Okay. But start to personalize your communication. You ready for number 3? Let's go. Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats. You knew this was coming. We talked about it in the title. And other third-party delivery apps charge an arm and a leg with their high commissions. And worse, they own your customers' data. Okay. They are literally outsourcing food production to your restaurant. Okay. DoorDash didn't create the restaurant. Grubhub didn't cook the food. Uber Eats didn't package it up. They just paid somebody to deliver it, which you got passed on that cost anyway. Okay. The customers love you. They don't love the apps. If you want to profit on a per order basis and increase lifetime value, you have to be converting your guests over from ordering from these third-party delivery apps to ordering directly from the restaurant instead. So what is the wrong way? The wrong way is increasing your prices on third-party apps to make up the difference of those high commissions and not working to get your guests to order from you directly instead. That is what I call third-party complacency. If all you do is raise your prices on third-party to combat it, great. It still ain't your customer, Joe. Okay? It's still Grubhub's customer. You have to get the customers to order directly from you. Those people are way more loyal, and you get a higher LTV. So what's the right way? The right way is to get your guests who normally order from third-party to start ordering instead. And you might think that's tough. You might think that people just like using those apps, right? They're easy to use. Everybody think those apps are easy to use? They are. That's not a shock, but it's not why people are loyal to them, okay? Couple things you guys need to know. 60% of U.S. consumers order delivery once a week, at least. My house is probably 3, but 60%, okay? 34% of consumers spend at least $50 an order when ordering food online. Whose restaurant has at least a $50 average on online ordering? Mine does not. Mine is.
Did COVID influence these numbers at all?
These are COVID numbers.
COVID numbers, okay.
These are definitely COVID numbers. They probably need updating, but it wouldn't matter. Even if this slid 10% up or down, who cares? Point is, like, people are spending money on delivery, okay? 70%, that's 3 out of 4, I think. I'm not bad at math. Of consumers, of your guests, say they would rather order directly from you, preferring that the money go to you rather than a third party. Guys, the numbers tell the story. Consumers are ordering and they want to do it directly with you, but you aren't making it easy. But we can change that, okay? You can create a better mousetrap. You can easily mimic third-party apps. You can take as many third-party orders as you want. It's totally okay. Those are your guests. Okay, Grubhub is doing a great job of finding them and bringing them to you. And when they eat your food, it's not the ordering they love, it's the food, it's you, okay? It's not the ease of using the Uber Eats app that makes them stay hungry, okay? Well, what if they come back just one more time, okay? That's another $47,000 in fees based on an average ticket of $37, a delivery fee of $30,000, okay? That's just 5 people, guys. 5 people. How can this be hard? It's not to drive these type of purchases, okay? What is the right way? The right way is use follow-up marketing, like an in-bag customer conversion tool that gets guests to order from you directly instead of the next purchase. And then following that up with personalized marketing that gets them to not switch back over. So what we just talked about with Bicky, okay? We don't want them going back to the delivery apps. Solutions like Ovation, we'll talk about that in a second, and feedback, for feedback, and Bicky, which we just talked about with this automations, they will superpower this effort for you. Don't be complacent, okay? Got to make sure you have an in-bag conversion tool. Like I said, we just launched this thing at Greeley Square. We're in urban space with the pop-up. Every single bag is getting one of these. This is a terrible version. I'm not very good at art. This is a client I used to work with. But you got to make sure that you have that in-bag conversion tool. And it needs to tell people to order ahead and skip the line. You got to give them a QR code that takes them right in ordering. Give them an offer. It's 10% off your first order, or 10 if you order 20, or enter a contest. But give them all the things they need on that card. Get them transacting with you, okay? I use a tool called Ovation, right? And this is one of my clients. We are using every tool we can. We got bag stuffers. We got digital table touches. We're texting our guests, scan the QR code, and one friend win a chance to free burger. But you got to get something in the bag, okay? Now, what I want to talk about is the digital table touch. This is amazing, okay? If I was in your restaurant, before you drop the check, what would you do? You would come over and say, hey, how was it? And if I said it was great, you would drop the check and you'd walk away, right? I pay the check. But if I said the server was a jerk, or you forgot my buffalo sauce, or the bathroom was dirty, or my drink was chipped, what would you do? You would take care of it on the spot, right? You would do a win back at the table. You might buy me a shot or give me some free dessert or a coupon for the next one. Manager would come over and apologize. You would take care of it. But how do you do that when the only experience is a bag delivered to somebody's door? How do you do the table touch? Okay, use a tool called Ovation. And the way this works is amazing. So somebody places an order from the restaurant. Okay, the food shows up. I'm eating it, watching TV or talking with my kid or whatever. Maybe actually I eat while I work. So maybe I'm sitting here on a Zoom call eating. And 30 minutes later, I get a text message that says, how was it? Okay, that's it. If I click a 5 or the happy face emoji, it says, great. Do you want to share that on Google or Yelp? And now you're getting more Google and Yelp reviews just because you've asked the customer. Go look at my restaurant. We have a 4-point average rating with 155 reviews. This is how we get them. We ask our happy guests for them. Now, if the guest rates it a 1 through 4, if they say if they say it wasn't great, we then ask them, tell us a little bit more. And then they can enter into a private text message conversation with a representative of the business. Now, I answer all of these, and people tell me what went wrong. Hey, the bathroom was dirty. Okay, great. Well, I would rather you tell me than tell everybody on Google. And so we quarantine a ton of our 1 to 4-star reviews because people just want to be heard. It's not about leaving a negative review. It's about wanting to be heard. And so this tool helps us do that. And through this process, we can use it. We can attach it to Grubhub, okay, and other third-party delivery services, and we capture their guest data, which is what this is all about. So
it's like a mini net promoter score.
It's me, right? But it also captures their guest data.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So we can email them, text them. Amen. Okay, so we're adding calls to action to social media. We're personalizing that communication after segmentation, and we are converting from third party, right? Sound good? What's next? Okay, let's understand a few things first. People, those are quotes, like food, okay? Anybody guess what the number one category of content is on social media? Jason, can you guess?
Is it food?
No, food's number 2. Okay. Number one is fashion. Fashion is the number one thing that gets shared as content on social media, but food is number 2. That means that people are used to seeing my lunch and your friend's lunch on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. We see food on social media. It's totally normal. Okay. The wrong way. Sharing to social media organically while the algorithm barely shows your content to 10% or less of your follows, and not maximizing your reach to a local audience by spending money to reach hungry locals, okay? Nothing is more frustrating than having 13,000 followers and it gets shown to 96. Okay, that sucks. Instagram and Facebook do not want to show it to your audience. So how do you get to the rest of everybody? Okay, guys, I want you to imagine this scenario. It's 11:55 a.m. People just got out of a meeting or a Zoom with their boss. It's almost lunchtime. And what do? They pick up their phone and quickly scroll through Instagram or Facebook to check notifications or see what their friends are up to. How do you kill 5 minutes? I'm going to scroll through social media, okay? But they haven't decided yet where to get lunch. The hunger pangs and cravings haven't kicked in, but they're going to soon. And what happens when they do? They're either going to go to Google and search, best pizza near me, or, whatever they're craving, or worse, they're going to open up a third-party delivery app and do the same thing, okay? What if you could be right there? What if your restaurant, your brand, hit their food radar before they decided where to get lunch? I hope everybody's getting the Inception joke here, okay? Before they had a craving and started to search for Yelp or DoorDash. What if you could incept their craving and purchase? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, you can, okay? Because what were they doing right before they started searching? They were on social media. You can get your brand inserted right there in the middle of their scroll at that moment. How do you do it? With ads. Okay, check out this ad. Was helping out a friend of mine who owns the best butcher shop in New Jersey. It's called B&M Market. All their food is 100% superb. They make this scallion skirt steak. It's to die for. Every time I cook it for my friends, they're like mind blown. Okay. But the owner, wanted to promote his shop with a 6-mile radius around the shop. Now they're in a tiny little suburb of North Jersey. So 6 miles is actually a crazy amount. Okay. We spent $90, less than $100 to reach 6,322 people. Okay. Now there are only 8,700 people in the town where they're located. It cost us 52 cents to get 172 people to click on a link to the business. 52 cents. Okay, guys, you can't even get a pack of gum anymore for 52 cents. In fact, 52 cents won't even buy you half a slice at a dollar slice joint anymore. Okay, but 52 cents got 172 people to click a link. That's amazing. Okay, here's the secret. Okay, when you combine ads with organic social activity, guess what happens? A ton more followers. Okay, a lot more followers. What happens is now when you share stuff organically, it's shown to more people because you're getting more followers and you're getting them from a curiosity and an inception state. Okay, here's the right way, guys. Budgeting between $10 to $12 or even $5 to $7 per day, per location, and running awareness campaigns 24 hours, 7 days a week on Facebook and Instagram that target people interested in your food and your service model that live or work within a 2 to 3 mile radius of your location. Okay. For a few dollars a day, you can have your business in front of the right people all the time. Now, I think Facebook and Instagram Business Manager is a massive headache because it is, and it sucks, and it's super hard to work, and it's super complex. You can make it even easier by using a tool like Targetable. Okay. Targetable will make it so you never have to log in again. It costs a couple $100 a month. It's ridiculous. They will create all of the ads for you based on your data and best practices that they know across the industry. I know lots of restaurants who need like 15 to 20 minutes a week to manage the Facebook and Instagram ads using Targetable, and they're spending like, $7 to $12 a day on those ads. Targetable takes your audience, your data, your content, and creates the ads for you based on your goals. If you want to automate your Facebook and Instagram ads so you can focus on other things, I'm sure that sounds good to everybody, use Targetable, okay? I am more than happy to make an introduction if you would like, or just go to targetable.com and be like, yo, Rev sent me. I was on Jason's presentation at Supplier Summit. I need to know more, okay? Guys, calls to action in social media, personalizing that communication. We're converting from third party, and we are now combining paid with organic, okay? Acquisition into retention. That's a double move right there. Who's ready for the fifth one? I'm ready. I'm going to take a sip of bubbles first.
You're leaving it all on the field, man. You're dropping nuggets here.
Like I said, I told you exactly in the presentation title what you're going to get, okay? Okay. I would like to start a story about Lake George. Who here has been to Lake George? Again, I can't see everybody, but you can put your hand up in front of the screen. Okay. Let's start with a story about Lake George. So I'm in Lake George. I'm there for a trade show, right? It's a supplier trade show. And the show ends at like 6:00. We all have dinner or whatever. And it's like 8:15. And I look down at my phone and I have like 50 unread emails. Well, I don't want to leave them sitting there. I want to deal with it. But you know what I don't want to do? Go sit in my hotel room. So I want to go take my computer to a bar, sit down at the bar, order some, a stout or an IPA or something, maybe a plate of French fries, and just work at the bar. I just want to be somewhere, okay? So I pick up my phone and I Google bars near me open now, Lake George. You can see the screenshot there. Turns out the first one on the list is like a block and a half from me. Great. I walk over. Guess what? Google said they're open. They're closed. So I go to the next one on the list. Again, Google says they're open. It's 2 blocks away. No problem. I walk over 2 blocks. Guess what? That bar's closed. Okay, I'm a little dense. So I go to the third one on the list. Again, their hours of operation are correct on Google. I walk over, close. Now I got a little smarter on the fourth one. I was pretty determined to go have a beer in a bar while I was emailing people. On the fourth one, I called. Google says they're open. Guess what? Bar was closed. Now, I actually ended up at a bar 7 miles outside of town. That's how determined I was. And I want to promise you I didn't drink and drive. But, like, you don't want to do that to your guests. You don't want to have wrong information on your Google because that provides a cruddy guest experience. We wouldn't want that to happen. We would feel bad, right? One of the top ways consumers discover new restaurants is using Google or Yelp to search best food or drink near me. Okay, it's called a near me search. If you aren't actively managing your information, especially your menu and your hours of operation on all the sites where consumers go where to get their next meal or drink, you are leaving it up to those sites to decide if they have the right information about your business to assist in your customer's journey. Okay, you have to be managing that information. So the wrong way is leaving your information for every location unmanaged and out of date on all these sites. Don't be like the bars in Lake George. Don't be like the Millennium Fandom bar here, okay? I don't know if this place is open on that date or not, okay? Make sure that when somebody ends up on your Google page or your Yelp page, that the information is correct. Give them the confidence to know that that's what they're doing. So you want to stop letting the internet decide, and what you want to start doing is make sure all of your information on your Google page and the other sites and the maps and the search engines that people use to find where to dine is up to date and correct. Okay. It is called listings management. That's what that's called. When you're updating your hours of operation, your menu, your phone number, all that stuff on all these sites, it's called listings management. Now, if you have one location, it's a pain in the butt. If you have 2 locations or 10 or 20 locations, it's a massive headache. Do you have the ability to log into every single Yelp page for every single location every time you update your menu? Hang me. Just hang me. I don't want that. Okay. Use software like Marquee, Marqii, to easily manage all of your information and all of your locations on the discovery sites. You basically update your menu as often as you want. You update it there, and boom, and you update your hours of information or your hours of operation. Let's say you're closed on Labor Day or you are open on July 4th. You just upload it into Marquee, and boom, it does all the work for you. You can also add brand approved photos, update your menu, all that stuff. Okay. And if you're not going to use Marquee, I don't know why you wouldn't. Please always make sure your hours of operation are correct so I don't end up running around Lake George trying to find a beer. Okay, make sure they're accurate all times. Okay, so remember when we talked about the old way being just about the transaction, right? Who wants to see what the new way is? Okay, I'm assuming everybody's going to say yes, and I'm going to show it to you either way, but thank you, Jason. Okay, build the journey around your guests. Add calls to action to social media. Personalize that communication through guest segmentation, convert from third party, combine paid with organic, and do listings management. Guys, said another way, okay? This is the perfect money-making machine I'm talking about, and these are the tools that will help you do that. Bicky's going to automate your email, make that segmentation easy. Ovation will help you to get guest feedback, convert your guests from third party, and opt them into marketing. Targetable will make it so you never have to log into Facebook and Instagram Ads Manager again, and they'll do social media for you. Marquee will help keep your listings up to date and help you manage all the reviews. Now, guys, these solutions work. They're not the only solutions available. They're just the ones that I use, and they're the ones that my client use. You don't have to use these. I'm sure Jason has some other suggestions, but these work, okay? These are the ones that I know work, and the point being here is you have to know what the move is, and you have to find a tool that's going to help you scale your time, okay? But using these solutions together is how to acquire more customers, how to increase guest frequency, how to beat the third-party delivery apps at their own game, okay? Now, P.S., I just want to talk about Targetable for another second here. That is not the whole Facebook and Instagram ads. It's not the only thing they do, okay? They will do almost nearly everything that we talked about today. They'll do it for you, okay? So if you don't have the time or energy to do to do all this, do what I do and use Targetable. And if you have a question about Targetable or you want me to introduce you, just reach out or go to Targetable and tell them I sent you, okay? Hit me up or go do it on your own, but talk to Targetable. They'll make all this easier, okay? I promise that by the end of the webinar, you would discover how to quickly create a perfect marketing machine that will have you rolling in new guests and get your current guests to happily spend more. I think we got there. We got there, right? Didn't we, Jason?
Yeah, I'm terrified. I mean, that's I've never seen such a robust machine.
Okay, it's really not that hard to operate. It's just I'm telling you what to do. It feels like a lot because some people aren't doing this, but you guys are way more equipped now. Okay, now I'm sure people have some questions, so I want you to start. If you haven't been, pop those into the Q&A. I'm happy to answer every single questions that I possibly can. But before we do that, I did promise you guys a special gift that would help you with your business. Okay, this is an ebook I wrote called "The Expert Guide in Converting Followers into Orders." How do you get people who follow you to place orders? Okay, you're going to get this ebook. Okay, it's going to show you how to capture your guest information. It's going to show you how to grab your followers' attention. It's going to show you how to enable purchases directly from your content. It's going to show you a system that gets your followers to take action, and you're going to see examples that you can literally model. Okay, does that sound good? Okay.
Yes.
Here's how to get it. I will leave this on the screen during Q&A. If you want, if you're not on your phone, you can pop that QR code. It will take you right to the page. You put in your name, your email address, and it'll be sent to you right there, and you have it. You can also go to bit.ly/followersorders. Or if you're like, I don't want to do any of those things, DM me on Instagram, and I will send your lazy ass a link, okay? You can hit the QR code, or you can go to bit.ly/followersorders, and you can get that ebook. All right, now with that, I said we'd be on here 45, 50 minutes. Boom, we're at the 50-minute mark. Good, my word. Jason, we got some questions in there.
Checkmate. Wow. That is the most dense 50 minutes of actionable content I think I've ever seen.
Thank you.
You've completely reframed my entire strategy. So thank you for that. We've got a couple questions here. We've got a question about how do you segment an already disorganized list?
Oh, that's a great question.
So if you have a huge list that has no segmentation at all, or you don't know how to tag it or whatever, how do you set that up to be targeted and tagged?
So this is a little bit of marketing acrobatics, but here's a very quick way of explaining it. So I would tag everybody in my database. I use MailChimp, right, as like unsegmented. Like I would add a tag of unsegmented, right? I would then create other tags in MailChimp, like first order, hasn't ordered in 30 days, orders only from this location, like whatever the things are. And then over time, people will self-select themselves into other segments, right? So if you have online ordering and you have a store in Soho and a store in Tribeca and a store in Hell's Kitchen, and you can track those and you can tag them afterwards, what'll happen if you use MailChimp the right way is they'll move out of unsegmented and they'll move into Hell's Kitchen, or they'll move in. So you like plan it for moving forward, right? Plan the system to move forward and just leave those that were there. Now, there's another way to do that, okay? You could create a form. Again, you could use MailChimp, you could use HubSpot, you could use High Level, you could use Google, whatever, and ask them those questions. Do you typically order lunch or dinner? Which store is your favorite store? Like you could literally ask the questions, and at the end of the survey, pull down that CSV and upload it based on segments. So it's more about what do you do now? It's not about how do I fix it. You can't fix the list. You can only fix moving forward.
How would you describe tagging? How would you explain tagging to somebody? Is it like folders?
Yeah, sure. So MailChimp does this, Constant Contact does this. So what happens is when you get somebody's contact info, you can tag them. You can say, hey, this guest fits in this category. It could be like only orders breakfast, or orders from this store, or it's a first time order, or hasn't ordered in there's a number of ways. And you apply those tags in your CRM, which most people use MailChimp or Constant Contact. And then once you've done that, you can build segments on the tag. So what you do is you tell MailChimp, hey, as soon as one of my guests has this tag applied to their contact, fire off this automation. So as an example, if they haven't ordered in 60 days, that's what we call a lapsed guest. We call them a lapsed guest tag. You'd update your database and then would ping them a lapsed guest flow. Hey, we missed you. Come back again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got another question about offers. I'm sure that there's a book in itself, but like that. But a lot of people struggle with finding the right offer that converts, and that's not going to kill them. Can you give us an example of an offer that you have found that works really well for? Like you're primarily talking about QSR stuff, like fast casual ish kind of stuff. But what kind of offers have you seen resonate with your clients?
So that's a great question. So everything works and you need to try what works for your brand. And I definitely don't like discounting, but I'm not afraid to give somebody some sort of discount or incentive, as I use is the word I would use, if they give me their contact info, right? So like, would I send out a postcard that says, show this coupon in store to get $5 for your order? It'd be a cold day in hell. Okay. But would I send out advertising that says, hey, get $10 off your first order when you spend $25. Give us your email address and we'll send you the code? 100%, because I'm going to capture their email address and then I'm going to send them the code, right? But you could also do an event. You could be like, hey, we have this new, bar education series on Monday nights where, we're going to do a whiskey flight for $15 and somebody's going to come down and, teach you about whiskeys. You have to make a reservation. Okay, well, I didn't discount anything there, but I told them they had to make a reservation. So I had to capture their email. This is all falls under the category of event marketing, but like figure out a way that's on brand for what you do to capture their guest data, right? And so different offers work for different service models, but they only work when you're capturing somebody's email or phone number. Mm-hmm. You could do a giveaway. You could do it. You could say, hey, you can run an ad that says, hey, win $100 gift card. Give us your email address.
Yeah. Classic. Okay. I got a question. What's it like to work with you? What does that mean? And how does one engage you and what happens after that?
Oh, God bless. I love that question. So typically every client of mine fits into one or two buckets. Either all they need is to be told what to do, because I clearly have answers and frameworks and playbooks, and we meet weekly and I'm like, do this, do that, do this, do that. And we look at data, we analyze systems, and I come up with like, you will never have to wonder what to do again. I will always know what to do. Oftentimes, most restaurants don't also want to then do their marketing. They're not going to send emails. They're not going to update social. They're not going to go do paid ads. They don't have the creative. They're busy. They're operators. In that case, we also have done for you services. So if you need my help and you want it done for you, you can do that route. I don't do contracts, right? I don't do long-term agreements. It's month to month. So if we're working together and you're happy and you want to do it again next month, guess what? We continue. If you need to pause a service, we can do that. And also, everything's a la carte. So if you want my services and you're like, hey, I want to do email and I want to do organic social, but I'll do my own ads. Okay, well, then you just pay for those things. And if we're running paid ad campaigns and you need to pause them because you're overbooked or too busy or the store closed, but you still want to update social media, we can pause that. So we keep it easy.
Super cool, man. All right. This is the hour mark. I know, we're running out of time, but thank you so much, Rev. This has been a very powerful presentation. You are so good at this, man.
It's not my first go around. Like I said, I do all of this for myself. So all I'm doing is telling you what we do.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much, Rev. So if you're looking for more, check him out. Check him out at Rev Ciancio on Instagram. And we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for presenting at the Supplier Summit.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers. Unreal.